Hi, I'm Ken Boggle from tarotbyken.com. Visit my website and get yourself a tarot reading. And lucky you, you're watching Ghost Talk.
Ho, 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 and welcome back to Ghost Talk, the most active paranormal show on YouTube. Hi, I'm your host, Aaron G. Thompson, and again, with me this lovely Wednesday day, I present to you, it's a present, actually, Lindsay Doyle.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
It's cold outside.
It's freezing, guys. For all of us, for all our Florida fans, lucky. Tucson desert, anyone with good, humid, or good weather. Bah
humbug.
Bah
to
humbug.
You.
Bah humbug. Ugh. And, well, speaking of bah humbug, before we get into today's topic, which I'm sure you guys are excited for, I do want to let you know again, January 21st, 2017, the Ghost Crier team is doing a full featured presentation. Totally worth the ticket price. I'm very excited for the folks to join who can make it. If you guys can make it, please join. But yeah, cool. Let's say we jump into today's topic.
Sounds good.
All right. Charles Dickens made an awesome book, story, novel.
Novel.
We'll say novel. Back in, what was it, back in
43.
1843. The same year that book was made. Exciting. Same exact. It's called Scrooge. Or no.
That would be the movie, Aaron.
with
called...
Bill Murray. Scrooge with Bill Murray. Man, how about the Christmas Carol? Does that work for you guys? Because that's what we're talking about today.
Sounds a little better.
Lindsay, since I clearly had no clue the story that I'm speaking about, tell our fine viewers about the Christmas Carol.
So, Charles Dickens' The Christmas Carol focuses around the character Ebenezer Scrooge. Now, Ebenezer Scrooge is what you call a misser, and a misser is actually someone who hoards wealth. They're greedy, they hoard their money, and they spend as little bit of money as possible. And so, in this novel, we have Ebenezer Scrooge, like I just stated, and in it, Ebenezer Scrooge is visited by three ghosts well, he's actually visited by more than three ghosts.
True.
Technically. And by the end of the story, he changes his ways and he's no longer greedy.
Cool.
He sees the errors of his past and he wants to change.
What day is it?
Right?
It's Christmas Day. Here's a quarter. Get me a turkey.
Right?
You can do that with a quarter?
You boy, go get me a turkey.
Yeah, I'm on my way to my mom and papa's place. It's Christmas Day. I just told you
Christmas
this.
Day, that's
I can't do this errand for you. Humbug.
That's right.
What a jerk. So Scrooge, of course, was visited by, these spirits. So let's kind of break things down a little bit of what the idea could have been for Scrooge and what type of spirits or, where the influence may have came from. Of course, we know Bob Cratchit is the current, not partner, but employee.
Right, he wants to be partner.
Yeah.
But Scrooge really overworks him. He does all the work.
Oh, totally does all the work.
Right. Bob does all the work and gets nothing for it, so.
And terrible insurance probably, too. Tiny Tim.
No insurance. That kid's like on his deathbed.
Right? Barely making it around. So it has a good down-to-earth, community-oriented, family-oriented, holiday, festivity-oriented individual working for him, very happy to work for him, actually really likes and looks up to Scrooge.
Right.
Maybe he looks at him in a kind of a different light that everyone else looks at. Everyone else just sees a cranky old man that hates, has a lot of money, but he sees, a potential mentor, and he sees what great aspects and how smart and brilliant Scrooge probably is. I mean, where he's at in his community, in his world, he has a lot of money. You don't get that way by sitting on your butt,
Yep.
Maybe saving a lot of money.
Right, well, yeah.
As we just learned. But the first ghost that visits him is his old partner. It was Marley or Jacob Marley. Jacob Marley. who was almost in a worse, or was in a worse condition than Scrooge. Both of them started this company very greedily, and Marley passed away. Jacob did. So since he's being punished currently, you see him presented with those chains, excuse me, that's weighing him down. He has all this strain because of everything he carried with him on the other side.
Right. The chains of guilt.
And the change of, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now there's a funny story, because when I watched the movies a billion times, what's that one, the original one made like in 1936 or something, classic, and it's, I didn't even think anything of that particular spirit or entity until, more doing the paranormal and reading more of the lore, influences maybe of a lot of these stories. And I think I may have found an influence. I don't know the exact date, but one of the very first spirit or ghost, in this case a spirit documentation, was, I want to say it was in the 1600s, 16 or 1700s. It was a while back, but mind you, it wasn't that long ago. And even now, they've found lore, informing of ghosts and spirits much further back, thousands of years, with documents as they interpret those documents. But the most clearest, straightforward, it's a ghost, it's a spirit, really was illustrated in this guy's, I believe, journal. It was, and it seemed like a really real experience. He was being taunted by an entity or by a spirit, not necessarily in a negative way, but he was at the cabin or at the house, and he sees this apparition. You could see through him, but it was definitely an apparition, and it's just pointing. It's just pointing to an area covered in chains. Looks like it has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he keeps following this apparition. That's gutsy for one thing, but he's just following this apparition to the location where he's pointing. And it was a few turns. It wasn't too far, but it led that individual to a kind of a site that had a little bit of loose gravel in it. So we started digging at that site. Found out there's a guy that was buried alive in chains. They chained him up. I believe they put him in the box and then buried him alive. A morbid way to go. And clearly the spirit, felt that weight, and the guy reacted appropriately. And after that, it was said that that demanifest. It needed that type of closure, and that's so interesting, because if that is very factual, not a made-up interpretation or maybe an exaggerated event, if that was very factual, I mean, it makes you question of how something can hang on and keep someone in a consistent or perpetual state. And maybe it might go to that. Maybe it might go back to the consciousness. That person thought he was in that state when he witnessed someone freeing him from the box. Right. He was able to rethink the scenario and wiggle out. Maybe something he could have did, but it was just so heavy on him. I mean, it's very not easy, assumably, to do. So it's interesting that Marley, was portrayed in a very similar fashion. Mm-hmm. Maybe similar, things in life too. Maybe that guy was weighed down with guilt, and that's why, or rich and greed and whatnot. You have an interesting theory, though, with maybe even a couple, with the whole idea of the story, of the Christmas Carol. Tell us a little bit about that. It kind of encompasses it all. How would you give us an alternate think, in a sense?
Yeah, sure, Aaron. So, in the novel, we see the ghosts coming to Scrooge.
Right.
And if you've ever seen any of the movies, you see that he's physically with each of these ghosts, the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future.
Right.
So we can look at that and say, okay, so was this actually like, was he actually visited by these spirits? And, if he goes out and he tells anybody about this, what are they going to think about him? Or was he asleep the whole time and subconsciously this was what was going through his head?
Right.
All those thoughts about what he's done in his past, where he's at now, and where he could potentially be in the future. Is he gonna die a lonely old man?
Right.
And with no one to give anything to, and no one to love, and no one to love him, and nobody to mourn him when he is gone. So is that just his subconscious weighing on him quite heavily this evening? Or has he actually been visited by these spirits?
And it could very well be someone in such agony that he's, mentally, that he's now conjuring up this whole scenario, because it seemed like a lot happened, but it just happened throughout a night.
Right.
With the Ghost of Christmas Past is interesting because he pulls kind of an out-of-body experience scenario with Scrooge, because they go flying through the air as they go to the past,
right?
Which is a behavior, really, of that out-of-body experience, maybe of a more advanced or mentally conscious spirit type of behavior. So it's interesting that that's his method of time travel in a sense. But I do like that they display a haunting by all definition. They go back in the past and they're just looking at a non-interactive, residual form of what happened. Dimensional travel, whatever the case may be, they kind of knocked it out with that. With the Ghost of the Past. Is that kind of the same? I mean,
yeah, that's kind of the same way I was looking at it too. Because Scrooge can't interact. He can hear, he can see, he can smell everything that's going on, but it's like he's not even there. He's literally going back into the past. It's not him time traveling where he can change it. It's just he's being shown what his past was.
It truly is haunting, if you think about it, because how would you like to be ripped from your bedside and just shown an area that you dropped the ball big on? And mind you, I'm a huge fan of forward thinking and moving forward, and anything I did in the past, I own it, I'm happy for it, and I move forward, right? But if someone would, say, snag me and take me back into an area that I totally dropped the bomb, and there's nothing, though it's physically, it feels like I'm right there at the spot, but there's nothing you can do. I mean, that'll make you think.
Right.
And with the Ghost of Christmas Present is always portrayed as kind of I say hefty gentleman, but like a very Kingsley, very rich, a very prosperous person in a sense. At least from the introduction, there's always a lot of food. I feel like there's like treasure in some of them. Maybe I'm just realizing or thinking that, but there seems to be a lot of stuff going on with Ghost of Christmas Present.
Right. And
that's also interesting because though that's not necessarily a haunting at that point, he's really taking Scrooge and almost playing with his energy. I mean, they're almost matching, and I'm sure with the Ghost of Christmas Past, probably the same thing, but matching the energy and doing more of that out-of-body experience travel with a guide in a sense.
Right. I mean, because you see, like with the Ghost of Christmas Present, you see what was happening that day, what's happening right now.
Right.
He takes him around and he sees, Scrooge actually gets to see the way that he treated Bob earlier in the day.
Right.
And so he's seeing that from outsider's perspective,
right?
Essentially, he's not seeing it from what he was doing when he was in that situation. He's seeing the situation being played, kind of like when you are in a situation and then it's done,
right?
And like 2 hours later, you're like, oh man, crap! I could have done this so much differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the spirit also takes him to go and see Bob's family,
right?
And so that gives Scrooge an insight as to how Bob and his family are living. And the nice thing about that is, even though Bob's family is very poor, they are still so very thankful for even the smallest things they have. And they're even thankful for Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, they even mention that.
Right. And that also goes to show Bob's character, just that he is essentially just the good.
Right.
The good that there is in everything, because he sees the good in everything.
Right.
And so, again, the Ghost of Christmas Presents is that's what he's showing him, showing Scrooge, and then also that Scrooge is by himself. What is he doing? He doesn't have any family with him. He just has his house, his wealth, and that's not going to keep him warm at night.
And those type of ghosts, the present and the past, would probably affect me more than the future one. And of course, he shows a future, and it's grim. There's, you're a tombstone. Nobody loves you. Blah 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 blah. Well, that wouldn't affect me as much, because you pass, whether anyone's there or not. You gone, you did. But knowing that I could have messed up the present and can maybe fix that the next day is very important. And of course, the past, kind of seeing that maybe as an eye-opener is good. But the future, I don't know, the future to me, if that was something there, I'd always want to change something anyways, just seeing the first two. The future just, I don't know, I'll just go back to the whole moment where I have to own everything that I did before. Like, just kind of suck it up and be like, all right.
Suck it up,
buttercup. Suck it up. But, Scrooge, honestly, Scrooge is always a character that I would love to portray on stage. I just like this story. I think it's just a fun, everyone can relate to one of the characters. Everyone knows the story. It's been told so many times. It's even been told by Muppets.
That's right, the Muppets.
A wonderful portrayal by the Muppets. Seriously, guys, it's like the best version. So
it is.
You should probably check it out.
It's the best. Or, I don't know. Do you think it's the best because you referred to this story as Scrooged?
I was going that way. Scrooged. I like Scrooged. All right. It's a good Bill Murray flick.
Little raunchy.
A little raunchy. I like it. I like Bad Santa, though. I like Bad Santa, though, too.
Yeah.
Elf's a classic. Elf's not either like any of the other two mentioned. We're going on Christmas movies now, guys. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Put it in the comments below, guys. We want to know.
That's right.
We want to know. I want to know. Have you ever...
You should also let us know what you like to eat syrup on. Spaghetti.
Everything.
Candy canes and cookies. Syrup. Yes.
Humbug. All right, guys. Well, you can follow us, of course. All links are down below. GhostCrier.com definitely has all of our outlets of where you can find us, what we're doing. We like to put the big news articles there. If you like what we do and want to support what we do, please. We definitely want to build a studio at some point. We're building towards the dream. Patreon.com/GhostCrier. Go there, donate $1 or $2, or definitely share and like our content, comment, talk to us. We love conversation, guys. So, Lindsay, you're like on 1 million social spaces. I just want you to give me one, though. Just one. If I were to follow you, how would I do that?
That would be on Instagram, and that would be at veganlins85.
Ghost achievement. Oh, wait, guys, not yet. Hi, you can follow me. All my links are down below, too. Yeah, so Ghost achievement unlocked.
Slam the door. You're shaking, scared. Live your life with so much fear. Wipe your eyes, hide your tears. Stop. Let me make this clear. This about you and me. No blind mutiny. Only para unity. Together we will see. Peace.